Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Madam, I want to ask about the exam, madam. Tomorrow, what time you are going to have the exam?
2:30, sir.
2:30. Is it how long this will go?
For 45 minutes.
45 minutes. Is it okay? MCQs, right?
MCQs for 25 questions. So I will be revealing it in the end of the session. So 45 minutes it will be. So another 45 minutes we will get into the feedback as well as the vote of thanks.
Okay.
That's
Madam, this notes and all you will send. When will you send the notes, madam? You have to prepare
this evening, sir. This evening.
This evening, okay.
Yeah, after the session, only some of the eminent speakers will be sending after the session. So after that, I will be sending out the materials to you. Good afternoon, Professor. Let me introduce our eminent speaker of this session. Dr. Kailash B.L. Srivastava is a professor in the area of organizational behavior and HR in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences at IIT Kharagpur. He holds a master's degree in psychology from Gorakhpur University and PhD from IIT Kanpur, and has 30 years of teaching, research, and training experience. He has taught earlier at BITS Pilani and TA Pai Management Institute, Manipal. He also served as visiting faculty in XLRI, Jamshedpur, and Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok, and UNU, Tokyo in 2013. He has published over 50 papers in national and international journals and contributed 25 chapters in edited books. He has acted as project consultant with many public and private sector, including NTPC, NIRT, and PR, MCA, NAC, Coal India. He has conducted many MDP in HRM, KM, knowledge management, behavior and soft skills, leadership and performance management. He has supervised 18 PhD theses in the areas of the HR department, trust and knowledge management, HR issues in mergers, acquisitions, emotional intelligence, and knowledge management. He is an expert board members to many universities. With all this introduction, let me welcome our speaker of this session, Dr. Kailash B.L. Srivastava, sir. Hello, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Farin, for having a nice introduction. I am going to discuss a very important issue which is concerned with all of us, that is related to our attitude and behavior. And we all actually try to see that how we are going to behave, and our behavior is basically affected by the attitude that we develop. So I would take around 1.5 hours to discuss all this, and I think I have to share my presentation. So can you allow me to share the presentation?
It is enabled, sir. It is enabled.
Okay, let me see. Okay, I think that it is visible to all of you, right? Can you see it?
Yeah, yes, sir. Visible.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. And I'm going to stop video because that might interrupt a smooth conduct of the lecture. So I'm just stopping the video, and I would take you through the slides to make you understand how our attitude and behavior are interrelated. And then we'll see that whether it is possible for us to develop a positive attitude and overcome certain negative attitude in our life or not. So you know that many of us may not be aware that what kind of attitude we have and what kind of attitude is required by all of us so that we can approach different phases of our life. Okay. Actually, we become accustomed to behave in the similar way without realizing the cause of success and failure. So the idea of delivering this lecture is to help all of us to better understand the effect of the attitude. Okay. So basically, the idea is that you will be able to clearly see that how we develop a positive attitude, and this is going to influence not our performance, but also results in a better attitude, or what you call a positive attitude, which is going to influence our performance, our success, everything. Okay, so why this attitude is important? Okay, because see, it is going to affect the way you look, the way you say, the way you do certain things. Similarly, it also affects how you feel both physically and mentally. And finally, basically how successful you are in achieving your goals and objectives, right? So your attitude basically comes from within. If you think that you can change it from negative to positive, then you need to take certain steps. You have the capacity to control your thoughts. Okay, the world makes way for the people who are determined for it, for people who laugh at barriers that limit others, those who face these stumbling blocks, while others who are going to fail. So basically, I'm going to take you through this lecture to make you understand that how our attitude and behavior helps us to improve ourselves in our personal life, our professional life, and everywhere. Now, if you look at attitude and behavior, basically, when we are talking about attitude, it is all the kind of evaluations that we make about our feelings, which could be favorable or unfavorable, and it could be towards individuals, objects, events, or any situation. So, and these statements are basically related to the kind of attitude that we have. And it is a very complex cognitive process, but it is very complex because it has certain things like it has certain components. If you are a student or a faculty of psychology, then you know that attitude has cognitive, cognitive, and affective components. I'm not going to discuss the theory part. I would like to take it in a more practical way. So what I'm going to talk about is that what are the things that we need to do to develop positive attitude? What are the things that we need to take care of when we are talking about the negative attitude? Okay. So when we are looking at the positive attitude, definitely it is a term which describes our mental phenomena where the central idea is that one can increase achievements through optimistic thought processes. And when we're talking about negative attitude, that is where we have disregard for everything. Someone who constantly points out the negative in everything. So it all depends upon the kind of thinking that you develop, where approach is positive in life or whether your approach is negative in life. Now, if you look at this, some of the characteristics of the attitude, you know that these changes with the time and the situation. It is also related to the feelings and beliefs of the people. Okay. I mean, your attitude towards a a particular individual may be different today, and it could be different tomorrow. So it is going to change. So it is also related to the feelings and beliefs of the people. It is also going to affect the behavior either positively or negatively. So my focus in this deliberation is to see that in what way we can develop more positive attitude and how we can overcome our negative attitude. Okay. And it also affect our perception, which we learn through our experiences. Okay. And sometimes that these attitudes are held unconsciously by us. So you can also imagine some kind of relationship between attitude and behavior. So you have to see whether your attitude is consistent with your behavior or not. If it is not consistent, then you try to bring about a change in your attitude, or sometimes you also try to bring about a change in your attitude itself. Okay. Just look at this, which basically suggests that yes, there is a need to develop positive attitude. This is a quote by somebody, which I have taken within quote: a positive attitude gives you power over your circumstances instead of your circumstances having power over you. So you can better understand that the role that a positive attitude will have in influencing our life. Okay. Moving further, I have some more quotes on positive attitude. It's like having a positive mental attitude that prompts you to expect favorable results. So if you develop positive attitude, probably it would result in better performance, success, and all positive outcomes, you can say. So there's another quote by Maya Angelou, and she says that if you don't like something, change it. And if you cannot change it, change your attitude. Okay. So this basically suggests that when you are going to have certain attitude about anything, individual, an object, or a phenomena, see that the extent to which you are going to be influenced by it, or the extent to which it is going to influence you. Okay. And positive attitude is also related to what you call positive thinking. Okay. Because if you develop positive attitude, it helps you to cope more easily with your regular affairs of the life. Okay. It is also related to what you call optimism, and actually it helps you to make your life easy, free of worry and also negative thinking. Okay. So basically what we say that if you develop a positive attitude, if you have positive attitude, a positive frame of mind, it is always good, because it would definitely result in positive outcomes. Now the question is that why people develop negative attitudes, and why there is a need to go for a more positive attitude. Okay. Because if you are positive, you are going to focus on good things, happy thinking, and successful outcomes. But if you develop negative say attitude, you will be focusing on bad things, sad thoughts, unsuccessful outcomes, and act and behave negatively. So once you are negative, once your attitude is negative, what happens? You start criticizing everything, and you don't try to see good things in others. So that is why it is always good for all of us to ensure that we develop more positive attitude, and it is really good if you are able to develop a positive attitude. Now, before we take you further, I plan to take a small exercise with all of you, and you can take it on your own. It's a very small exercise where you can determine your positive attitude quotient. Okay. I have given 10 questions in the next slide, and you have to answer those questions from 1 to 5 in a 5-point scale. So if mark 1 if it never happens with you, it is not related to, 2 if seldom, 3 if sometimes, 4 if usually, and 5 if almost happens every time with you. Okay. So basically the idea is to help you determine your positive attitude quotient. So be honest with yourself. Don't give socially desirable answers or anything like that. Make sure that it correctly fits into your attitude, or what the kind of attitude that you have. Okay. So what you need to do, you need to answer these questions, and then once you have taken up the test. Yes. Hello. Yeah. Any questions? No. So you need to add the numbers that is assigned to each one of them, right? So these are the 10 questions that you have to answer, and on a 5-point scale. So if you do it quickly, so we will move further. What you need to do that use a 5-point scale, and if you have paper and pen, then you can do it easily, or you can find out other ways. If you have a mobile, then you can add it there itself. So what you need to do is that you take up this scale to find out your own positive attitude quotient, so that we can take it further for further discussion. So you have to use a 5-point scale on all these 10 questions that is given. It is a very small 10 question scale, which helps you to find out your positive attitude quotient using this questionnaire. So are you doing it?
Yes, sir, we are doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, please do it so that and you total it so that we can take it further.
Yes, sir, done.
No,
So,
sir, we are doing it.
yeah, unless everybody does it, how can we proceed?
No, sir, it's taking time, no? We have to-
10 items, so 5 minutes, I think, not more than 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and then you total it. See, there is no right and wrong answer, so what best fits you to write that only on a 5-point scale. Okay, from 1, never to.
10, sir.
Okay, if everybody has done it, so we can move further.
So give me 1 or 2 minutes more, sir, please.
Sure, please take the time.
நன்றி என்னமோ சொன்னாரா என்ன சொல்றா நான் வந்து உனக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணாதான் நீ எனக்கு நன்றி சொல்லணும் நீ எனக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணா நான் தான் வந்து நீ வெல்கம் சொல்லணும் எனக்கு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் புரியல அவங்க அப்பா ஏதோ சொல்லிட்டு வெல்கம் சொல்றது பதிலா தேங்க்ஸ்
Please let me know once you have done it so that we can.
Finish, sir.
Yes, sir,
Done.
done.
Okay, so we are moving to the next slide. Right? Make a total. Write the total score out of 10. So maximum that you can get is 50 and the minimum that you can get is 10. So the range is going to be between 10 to 50.
Mm.
Right?
Mm. Yes, sir.
Now look at your scores. If you have been honest to yourself, probably this is going to represent the extent to which you have a positive attitude. Okay, if you score 40 or above, then you definitely have a very strong positive attitude. Okay, so it means that you are more credible as a leader and compatible as a co-worker. Means your compatibility and credibility is good. If you have scored between 30 to 40, then you have a normal positive attitude. It will serve you well and be a favorable influence on others. It means that yes, it is a good score, you can say. Then if you have scored between 20 and 30, then your attitude is unpredictable and will cause confusion, uncertainty in your relationship, both at home and at work. So the idea of giving these kind of things is to see that whether the kind of attitude that you have, and if you have scored under 20, then definitely you have a negative attitude, which will inhibit your confidence and also your relationship at your work. Okay, so this was a small exercise that was given to you to see that some of you can tell your score.
30.
Okay,
37, sir.
good,
So 42.
very good.
37, sir.
30.
Good. Yeah.
42, sir.
Anybody has got less than 20? Okay, anybody got less than 20? Between 20 and 30? Did some of you get a score of 20 to 30?
I
Some of
got
you?
30, sir.
Okay. So, okay. So we take you further for other things. Now, we were, what we did, that we tried to assess your, positive attitude quotient. And then we take you further to assess your attitude towards yourself. What kind of attitude you have towards yourself? I mean, what you think about yourself. Okay. So I will be taking up questions, certain questions. Okay. And then you are going to ask these questions to yourself to determine if you usually take a positive attitude towards yourself. I mean, what you think about yourself, whether you have a positive attitude towards yourself or not. So you can say in yes, no, or undecided. Okay. It is not a scale. We'll take up one by one each question. So these questions basically help you to decide what kind of individual you are. Okay. Okay. See, it all depends upon what kind of attitude you have about yourself. Okay. So, because your attitude reflects both inward on yourself and outward to other people. So first we'll look at your attitude toward yourself, and then we'll also look at your attitude toward others. Okay. So now if you look at these questions, which says that, are you a learner or rejecter? Okay. Are you usually willing to recognize that no one has all the answers and continue trying? Yes. Yes or no? Some of you can answer it. That's all.
Yes, sir.
Or no?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
The idea is that you need to ensure that yes, nobody is perfect, right? There are a lot of imperfections in all of us, and then we all need to learn and continue to learn, right? So that we can improve upon yourself. Now, the second question is that, do you do your job best? Do you do your best on the job?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Evidence of this would be if you tend to suggest better ways of doing things. Do you think that yes, there is a better way of doing certain things?
Yes, surely and surely, sir.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
the third question is that, do you demonstrate enthusiasm in most of what you say and do? I think
Yeah.
most of you are faculty members.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
as a faculty, I'm also a teacher like you, right? So do you demonstrate enthusiasm in most of what you say and do?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is the
Absolutely.
record? What does the record say about that? What will your friends tell you? Does your friend also tell that yes, you are really motivated
Yes, sir.
and do
Because
the job in that way.
enjoy making changes in the pattern of teaching.
Yes, definitely. After the pandemic, you are trying to use digital platforms and see that you are going to be equally effective, right?
Mm.
Even
Yes.
in your online teaching.
Mm.
Are you willing to grow?
Yes. Every
Sir.
day we learn.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that it is your responsibility to prepare yourself for your advancement,
Surely.
or wait for someone else to tell you what to do?
It is our responsibility.
Our
Yes,
responsibility.
definitely it is our responsibility to prepare ourselves for our advancement. So you take the responsibility for your growth and development.
Mm.
Nobody else is going to take it up. Okay, others might facilitate the process, but ultimately it is you who are going to take the responsibility for your growth and development. Do you welcome changes,
Yes.
and to what extent?
As
I don't know how many of you basically face some kind of or went for some kind of criticism when we moved from offline teaching to online teaching, because there were a lot of hiccups like network issues and all kind of problems we faced in the beginning, but we all accepted that yes, there is a need to go for a change, and we need to learn that how we are going to be more effective in our teaching. So we need to change our pedagogy, we need to change the way we are going to deliver our lectures, right? So we all need to welcome changes, because a lot of changes are happening at the workplace, even in the field of, say, education, right? Are you the kind of person who experiments with new ideas, who try things, which is generally open to suggestions?
yes, sir.
Always, sir, always.
Yes, yes, of course.
Yes.
And the most important thing, that whether you cultivate a sense of humor or not, how best you create that in the class, with the colleagues, with the seniors, with the fellow workers. Okay.
This is
Do you-
minimum.
So see, it is very, very important, because you need to see that the kind of harmony, good relationship that you are going to create at the workplace. At the same time, you also need to cultivate this kind of sense of humor, because that is very, very important. I mean, it is not necessary that you are going to be all the time serious. So okay, so sometimes you have to laugh at yourself. Sometimes you have to laugh at others as well. Okay, so because that is how you are going to enjoy your life when you are going to do it. Okay, so you need to consider that the work is fun. Okay, if you think that work is a burden, then is that actually denotes a kind of attitude that could be categorized as negative, not a positive one, right? So now I'm going to have a different kind of say assessment, where you are going to evaluate your attitude towards other people. Okay. So the first thing that we discuss is that what is your attitude about yourself, and now evaluate your attitude towards other people. Okay. So when I'm saying that you are going to evaluate your attitude about other people, so the question is that, are you taking a consistently positive attitude towards other people, okay, or not? That
No,
is very,
not
very
always. Not always.
important. Definitely not always. Okay. So look at these questions that is given here. Like, are you sincerely interested in other people?
Yeah.
Do you talk about their needs and their problems?
Yes.
If that is so, then it is good. You cannot fake it, right? People
No.
will come to know that you are not serious about them,
Yeah.
right? Do you look at others' point of view,
Yes, surely.
Yes.
how they feel about you?
Mm.
Okay. So it is very, very important when it comes to understanding yourself and understanding others. It is very, very important that you need to open up, right?
Mm.
How they feel, why they feel that way, why they think and act as they do, is you need to understand. At the same time, you also get feedback about yourself. So when we are talking about understanding yourself or understanding others, it is very, very important that how open you are to them, right? If you are open to them, if you interact, if you have trust on them, right? If you give constructive feedback, then it is good, right? And the relationship between two people is mostly based on trust and what you call a positive feedback. Okay, that is going to create a very positive attitude towards other people, right? So you have to see that how you look at others' point of view. So you need to consider their perspective about yourself, because that is going to change your perception about yourself, right? So do you study them? Are you a good listener? Do you listen to others? Because we always say that yes, we should be a good listener, but
Not
probably
always, sir.
we are not good
Not
listeners.
always a good listener. Very true.
It is correct. I mean, ideally we say that yes, everyone has to be a good listener, but usually it does not happen. I mean, most of us are not good listeners, right? So
Yes.
when you are going to listen, you have to be attentive. You have to rephrase what, I mean, try to understand them, what they are going to say. Okay, and then you make them understand, okay, that you have understood what they have said. So there, all these are the things which is related to good listening. Are you able to cooperate to achieve common goals? Suppose you are working as a
Yes.
team, as a group. So how
Yes.
much you contribute, right? Whether you cooperate with other people, whether you work as a team or not. Okay, so that is the next point. Okay.
Yes.
So when it comes to evaluating your attitude about yourself and evaluating your attitude about towards other people, then definitely both are important, right? Because it is going to affect you. Okay, so you have to see, sorry, that whether when you are going to after this evaluation, whether it is going to reflect positivity or negativity. Okay. For example, if you have a negative attitude, it might lead to carelessness, ignorance, all kind of things, right? Fatalism, like you might say, okay,
সচেতনতার পরিচয় দাও।
hello, yes. Actually, I mean, when I'm talking about negative attitude, it might lead to certain things.
সমাজ সচেতন কবি
Hello,
বেট্রোল ব্রেক্ট তার কবিতায় তিনি
Someone is
তার কবিতায় তিনি
Teach-
ইতিহাস সচেতনতারও পরিচয় দিয়েছেন।
yeah,
তার কবিতায় তিনি
someone is
ইতিহাস সচেতনতারও পরিচয় দিয়েছেন।
Somebody's microphone should be.
Dharmishta
so
Biswas.
kindly switch off your microphones. Keep it in a mute.
সেই ইতিহাস কেবল
Hello.
রাজনৈতিক বা
Hello, madam.
সামাজিক
Please
ইতিহাস
mute
নয়।
yourself.
সেই
It's
Hello,
Dharmishta
madam.
কেবল
Biswas, madam.
Sahaj, where are you? Sahaj, are you here?
বা সামাজিক ইতিহাস নয়।
I think somebody has kept his microphone open and speaking.
Now it's off.
Okay, thank you. So attitude actually affects every aspect of your life and your job, right? So if you have a negative attitude, you say, okay, how does it matter to me? I don't know what happens. Okay, if it happens, it happens. Why should I bother about it? Okay, so all kind of things are to say behaviors are reflected by you. Okay, for example, you can say, okay, I am not concerned about it. Okay, but if you have a positive attitude, definitely you are concerned about it. You want to know why you are going to do it. Okay, you try to do the things in the right way. You are more conscientious. I mean, you want to do the things now, and if you are going to focus on the job, you become very, very careful, and you are really concerned about it. So it all matters whether you develop a positive attitude or negative attitude. And now so the thing is that you need to change the way you feel about yourself. So see, we talked about what is your attitude about yourself and what is your attitude about others and how you evaluate it. Now moving further in this continuation, we are going to discuss how we feel about yourself can be changed. Okay, so that is moving from negative to positive. That is very, very important. So these are some of the points, like cast away your negative past. Okay, something that has happened to you, which was not good. You had made mistakes. There were certain embarrassments. Okay, so just bury them. Okay, it is very, very important to identify your liabilities, mistakes, failures, embarrassments, but don't live with it, burn it. Okay, so otherwise you will not be able to move ahead in your life. Okay? You will not be able to move forward with a more positive approach in your life because you continue to live with these things. Okay? Similarly, you should need to focus upon your competence, your assets, your achievements, because that is what is going to help you to grow and develop and move ahead in your life. Okay? And at the same time, look forward to more positive feedback from others. So maybe you read, listen something that is good, motivational or inspirational. And finally, when you are setting your goals and objectives, make sure that it is very, very specific. And that is why we say, I hope that you're familiar with this term SMART. Okay, make it SMART. SMART means specific, measurable, articulate, reasonable, and that could be achieved within a given time frame. Okay, so when we talk about setting goals and objectives, make sure that you are able to set specific goals. For example, you say, okay, this year you want to write 2 papers. Okay, you want to publish 2 papers in a good journal. So it is a very specific goal that you have written. Okay, make sure that you are able to take it up and you are able to publish it in 1 year. Okay, so if it is not, it means that you have not gone for a very specific goal and it would be very difficult for you to achieve. Okay, and they take responsibility for your own emotional environment. Believe in and support your strengths and values and accept responsibility for being a deserving, creating achiever. And as a teacher, I think this is the most important thing for us. We need to look at our strength and the kind of value system that we have, because we go by it. We need to take responsibility for what we do so that we do something which is going to be more creative and we achieve something on which we can be proud of, which we deserve, and that is very, very important. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to look forward the ways and means through which you are going to change certain things in your life, right? So it is very, very important is that make sure that you are going to develop a very positive frame of mind. So you need to find out doing certain things and remain happy. It means I try to make the best of your circumstances. See, in our life, nobody has everything, right? And everyone has something. We all have, say, good things in our life, bad things in our life. Okay? We have sad moments or happy moments of our life. Okay? So we have to see that how we carry on these things. So you, I mean, we see when we are doing certain things, there is always certain risks. Okay, but if you say that okay, there is a risk and you are not going to take it up, then that's not going to happen, and you are going to be disappointed. Okay, because you find that it has not happened. Okay? Because you know that future is very, very uncertain. Okay. Similarly, when we are talking about the next one, that you cannot please everybody. Okay, can you? Can we please everybody? Whatever you do, nobody, not everybody is going to have. Okay, but at the same time, people are going to criticize because you cannot please everyone. So, but in that case, don't let criticism influence you. Okay, be yourself, and it is going to work better in the long run. Do the things that you enjoy doing. Okay, don't bring trouble. Okay, but at the same time, if there are certain things, trouble is there, then face it, take the responsibility, right? And so whatever I'm going to talk about is going to help you to develop a more positive attitude. So now if you look at some of the benefits that you are going to derive out of this positive attitude is something like this: help achieving goals and attaining success. And it is possible only when you are going to develop a positive attitude. So that's what I've been talking about. Okay, so you need to believe in yourself. You have to carry out a self-image which is going to help you to achieve good results. Okay, So see, the most important thing is that the way you see yourself is going to affect your attitude. Okay, and that is going to affect your actions, and it is going to determine your accomplishments. So what is the key? You have to develop confidence, okay, earn respect, and bring positive changes with better results. And as a faculty member, I think we have this responsibility to ensure that we are able to bring more positive positive changes with better results. Okay. And we also try to develop and maintain a good self-image. Okay. But sometimes what happens, we fall short of it. We are doing certain things where we are not able to maintain our self-image as a faculty member, because we might be doing certain things that is not desirable. Okay. The problem is that we drift and react rather than initiate certain things. Okay. So we need to see that how we can go about it. So we need to see that we don't spend our time on doing certain things where we think that it is a waste of time and energy. Like sometimes what happens, we try to blame others for bad breaks. Okay. Sometimes we go for seeking revenge or focus on past mistakes. Okay. Now we need to understand our doubts and fears, but change does not simply come from analysis. It only comes from action. So it is not easy and requires determination and discipline. So you have to see that how you can go about changing yourself, and that is where we discuss those points, and then try to understand that how we can go about achieving these things. See, ideally it might look good that okay, we are talking about okay, we can go for developing a positive attitude, but the process of converting thoughts and actions which need to which basically help us to develop positive attitude for better actions and better outcomes is really very, very difficult. Okay. So, but if you have been able to develop positive attitude, definitely it is going to help you to achieve your goals and objectives in life. You are going to be more successful. It brings more energy, more happiness on your part. Okay. And internally you become more powerful and say you develop inner strength. Okay. That is what we call courage, confidence, right? Willpower. These are very, very important things that we need to develop. Similarly, we are able to inspire and motivate not only ourselves but others. Okay. I hope that being a teacher, it is our responsibility to see that we are able to motivate our students, right, to be a good learner. So it is possible only when we develop a positive frame of mind. If we say to a student, okay, you are good for nothing, okay, you cannot learn, nothing can be done with you, then this shows that you, instead of inspiring a student, basically you are demotivating, discouraging a student. Okay. So you try to find out the strength of that person, look at in what area he is good. Okay. And then you try to inspire him, motivate him. Okay, because everybody has certain strength. Okay. Everybody has certain capabilities. The area of capability might be different, but at the same time, everybody has certain strengths and capabilities. So we have to see that how we can harness, how we can untap those potential so that we are able to work and take it up. Similarly, we also need to learn from our mistakes. Okay, that is very, very important, and that point has been already been emphasized. Okay, so when it comes to learning from the mistakes, yes, we all agree that yes, we need to learn from what we have done in the past. We try to get feedback and see that in what way we can go about improving ourselves. Then another way is that we need to look for doing things in a better way. Okay, if you have a right attitude, you can find out, you can find success even when you are confronted with failure or obstacles. Okay, so it is always good that you try to find out how things can be done in a better way, right? Then even if you are having certain difficulties in your life, we all face difficulties, okay, in our life, right? So you have to see that is there a way out to face these difficulties using our strength, our willpower, right? And then whether we are in a position to use it with a positive frame of mind, right? For example, if there are certain difficulties, some people simply give up, but some people will take up the challenge, right? So you have to see that in face of difficulties, whether you are able to bounce back, and you know that this concept is known as resilience. It is very, very important for us to be resilient. It means you are able to bounce back in case of difficulties, crises, failures, and then only it is possible for us to succeed. Okay, so this ability to surmount any difficulty is related to resilience. So how resilient you are, how optimistic you are, how hopeful you are, so that is going to decide whether you are able to face the challenges of your life and career. Okay, and then probably it is all good things. Life is going to smile at you, and you are going to smile at yourself, and also people are going to give you a lot of respect. So you have to see that whether you are able to take up the challenges, become resilient, use your confidence, energy, strength to be happy and succeed. So how this kind of attitude help you to lead to personal effectiveness? Okay, now when we are talking about personal effectiveness, basically you have to see that what leads you to personal effectiveness. What do you mean by personal effectiveness? Personal effectiveness means how we're going to measure it, right? Whether you are going to achieve certain things, whether you are able to deliver performance, right? Whether you're able to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. So if these things are met by you, then you can say that you are effective, right? So as a person, you have to see that you are going to be effective as an individual. It means you are able to realize those benefits for which you were looking forward to in your life, maybe related to career, maybe related to family, maybe related to anything else. Okay, so what are the takeaways here? Now if you look at it, for personal effectiveness, what are the things that we need to look at? Get the help you need for personal effectiveness. Go above and beyond expectations. What does it mean? It means if you have achieved certain things, do not stop it. Okay, raise the bar. That is very, very important. So suppose you say that, okay, you are likely to publish one paper, one good paper in a journal this year. Okay, we have published it, so don't stop it. Maybe next time you are going to raise the bar and say that, okay, next year I am planning to go for publishing 2 papers in a good journal, right? So you need to move beyond your expectations, and that should be actually the motto for all of us, that how we are going to improve upon what we are as an individual, as a professional, right? So that we are going to achieve more success in our life. The next point is bring solutions, not problems. I think this is well said. Okay, so see, many times what happens, we discuss about the problems. Okay, and we say you have a problem. So suppose we say you have a problem or we have a problem. Which one is a better statement? Right? When we say you have a problem, it means it is your problem, you are going to take it up. But I have nothing to do with this one. When we say we have a problem, it means I am also engaged with that problem, and I would try to find out a solution for it collectively. And then we are going to be more effective. Okay, so the idea is that you think of the solutions, not the problems. Okay, and this really happened with in our institute. We as faculty members were facing certain problems, so we went to the director and told him that, sir, we are facing these problems. You know what he said? He said that, well, I know that you are having these problems, but please don't talk about the problems. Tell me what are the solutions for these problems so that we can solve it. Okay. So it is very, very important for us to look for solutions, not problems, because if you are always complaining or talking about the problems, then nothing is going to happen. Okay. The third point is bouncing back from mistakes. Okay. It is very, very important for us to understand that yes, we have done something that is wrong. Okay. You are not going to attribute it to others. Okay. Sometimes what happens, if something has gone wrong, then we are going to blame it to others. Okay. You know that if you have been a student of psychology, then you know that we are talking about a concept where we say that, okay, if some good things happen to us, then we attribute to ourselves. If some bad thing happens, then we attribute to the external factors, right? You know about this concept, locus of control? Have you heard about it? Hello. Have you heard this concept of locus of control? Where the control lies? The control lies with you, or the control lies with others. Okay. Suppose if you succeed, then you are going to attribute it to yourself, and if you do not succeed, then you are going to blame it to others. Okay. So do not blame others for any kind of mistakes that is either made by you or them. Okay. What you need to do is that, okay, yes, we have done something that is wrong. Okay. Now we are going to take it up. Okay. We are going to bounce back more strongly, and we are going to do something and resolve this mistake in our future activities. Okay. So you try to find out how this mistake can be rectified next time. Okay. And that is where you need to be resilient. If you are not going to be resilient, then you are going to blame it to others. You are not going to take it up. Okay. And then things will not be done. Next point, don't make excuses, right? If things go wrong, what happens? Oh, we say that, oh, he did not do it, so that is why it has happened. Okay. If things go wrong, you do admit it. Okay. And try to fix it. Try to solve this problem, because if you are not going to solve the problem, who else is going to do it? Okay. So all these are required in order to develop your effectiveness, and that is where you need to move from being negative to positive. Some other point, like don't depend on reminders to complete their work. Okay. So it is actually a point which is related to time management, and I don't know whether you heard this term called procrastination. Have you heard about it? The attitude to delay certain things, right? This kind of attitude is basically prevalent in most of us. So what happens, we try to do certain things at the last moment. Okay. For example, if a thesis comes to me for evaluation, I sit on that until I get 3-4 reminders, or suppose a paper has come to us for a review from a journal, so I'm sitting over it and keep on getting the reminders, and then finally I sit one day and do it. If we are not able to do it in time, then what will happen? We will not be able to complete the work, and there would always be backlogs. So if there are backlogs, then how can we be effective? Okay. So the point that I wanted to make here is that do not adopt that attitude to delay things. Okay. Try to complete the work as and when it comes, so that you are not going to have this kind of reminders or people telling you that you have not done the job, kindly do it and complete it. Okay. So you need to set your own deadlines for the task that you have at hand. Okay. So that you are going to complete it, and you are not going to panic under due date. For example, I remember when Dr. Fareen requested me to deliver this lecture, and I was at home due to some personal emergency, and then I said, okay, I will do it. And when I came back, it was around, I think, 14. And then I said, okay, I think it's already late. So let me prepare and complete this, so that I'm not going to do it on the last day to complete these activities. So it is very, very important for us to avoid this kind of attitude where we are going to procrastinate certain things, means attitude to delay. That is very, very bad for all of us, but consciously or unconsciously we are driven by it some of the times. Okay. And the point is that you are going to work for improvement, not perfection, right? This is a very, very important point, because you know that if you are looking for perfection, it is never going to happen. So if you are looking for perception, then you will get frustrated and you will be under pressure and stress, and you will not be able to accomplish your job. Okay. You need to accept the fact that nobody is perfect. Anybody is not perfect, and some amount of imperfection is acceptable from all of us, right? For example, if I'm going to write a paper and I don't submit it to a journal, thinking that unless it is perfect and I don't get any comment and the paper is accepted as it is, then I think that it would take either too much time, I will never be able to submit it. I know that I have done some work. I'm going to submit it to the journal to the best of my effort, and I'm going to get some kind of, say, review from the reviewers, from the journal, the editors, and I'm going to revise based on that, right? So the idea is that you are going to work for improvement, not for perfection. Okay, so you have to see that don't expect perfection, don't be perfectionists, right? Otherwise you will not be able to do it. Think ahead. That is very, very important. Yeah, if you think ahead, it means think beyond what you have done, beyond the timeline. Probably it is going to eliminate some say unpleasant surprises. What does it mean? It means that you always plan and think about the future. That is very, very important. Okay, suppose tomorrow I have a class. Okay, so if I'm going to prepare it tonight, that is not good. It means that I have to think at least a week before that. Okay, these are the classes next week and what kind of things I have to deliver, and accordingly prepare it. Okay, so that last moment, if something happens, okay, and I'm not able to deliver the goods, services, then what will happen? I will not be able to do it. So you should always plan about the future and accordingly perform your activities. Okay, don't dwell on success. That is another important point. See, sometimes your past successes actually create a kind of trap. Okay, so don't get trapped in your past success. Okay, I have done this, I have done that. Okay, that is good, but what you are doing right now, that is more important. Okay? So you should need to move on from your past accomplishments, okay, as well as past mistakes. So don't carry the legacy of baggage either of accomplishments or mistakes to the future. Leave it at there. Okay, and you continuously try to see that what are the good things, new things, creative things that you are going to do in the future. Okay, then the next point is don't assume too much. Okay, when in doubt, ask for clarification. Definitely, it is not necessary that you know everything. Okay, so you need feedback, you need help from others. Okay, so it is always good that you ask others. You know, some of us have a tendency or habit not to seek information and knowledge from others. That is not good. Then the last point is negotiate agreements and then good going. Okay. What does it mean? See that what you need to do, what has been settled down in terms of agreements that you have, and then stop working on it. Don't wait for orders to be sure that they are doing everything exactly as it was before. What I'm trying to tell you through these points is that you need, if you are able to understand these things, probably you are going to be more effective and succeed and achieve goals as you have stated. Okay? So in any kind of organization, whether it is academic institutions or other kind of organizations, okay, so you know that there are negotiators or teachers who find, hire, keep, seek, work more people who are strong in there, then the chances are very, very good. Okay, So sometimes we don't look into these things. That is very, very important. Okay. Before we move to the next slide, I would like to discuss another thing is sometimes we have a mentality to look forward to something that is related to what versus who, like what is wrong versus who is wrong. Okay. So you need to take initiative as evidence of positive attitude, isn't it? So when we are talking about what is wrong versus who is wrong, basically when we say who is wrong, it means that you always try to find someone to blame. Okay. When you are surrounded by people, you try to find someone to blame. Okay. Okay, so you have to see that you have to find out what is wrong, not who is wrong. Okay. So what is correct in this case? You have to see that what is wrong instead of who is wrong, so that you are not going to blame somebody for something that is not good, but you have to see that what is wrong so that can be corrected. Okay. Because if you blame somebody, then that person might be defensive, okay, and he may not cooperate or help you. So it is always good to analyze and find out what is wrong instead of who is wrong. Okay. Now we'll take up the next slide where we'll talk about attitude and effectiveness. So we try to relate attitude with effectiveness. So we are going to discuss certain points. Basically, when we are going to look at the relationship between the attitude and effectiveness, especially your app, if you look at your app effectiveness as a teacher or the supervisor or the manager, especially for a position, okay, it all depends upon what kind of attitude is there with you, right? So these are some of the questions that you have to ask yourself. The first question is, are you looking for facts or not? So in any context, what is the factual evidence that you really want from people? Okay. Or you are not looking at the factual evidence. So it is always good to look for factual evidence that you want from people. Okay. Now other things are like, you need to plan well, allocate enough time and resources for the work that you are doing. Okay. So do you have this kind of evidence that you have allocated enough time? You have to think ahead and provide needed resources so that things can be done. Otherwise, what will happen? You are not going to be effective with the kind of attitude. If you do not plan well, then probably will, and do not allocate time and resources, then success may not be there. Okay. And the important thing is that, do you remain calm in a crisis and emergency or not? Do you lose your cool or having a temper? You become too much reactive? For example, sometimes it might happen with us, with the students, that we lose our calm, right? Because they are doing something that is wrong, correct. But in that way, are you behaving rationally? Actually, you are also behaving irrationally, right? So you have to see that you need to behave in a more rational, logical way. Try to find out certain things, why it happened, and then take necessary steps. Okay. Instead of reacting, then go for a calculated risk. With the kind of attitude, if you have developed a positive attitude, and then you will always go for a calculated risk. That is what we know as moderate risk, not a very high risk or not a very low risk. Just the next point is disagree with a reason. Okay. I don't know how many of you have a tendency to disagree. Okay. Not necessary that you always agree with others. Okay. You can always dissent, provided there is a reason for it. And there's a good reason, logical reason for it. If you do not have a logical reason to disagree, then you should not disagree. Okay, so there's nothing wrong being not being in agreement with others for anything. Okay, but you must bring out a reason that, okay, this is the reason that because of which you are not going to agree to the proposal in a particular meeting or something like that. Okay, another important thing, I think it applies to all of us. Do not show off your power and status. It may result in fear, isolation, and suspicion. But people may not like it. Okay? So just look at yourself and see that whether you have flaunt the symbols of status and power, privilege, okay, on others. Because if you have done that, it might have resulted in some kind of fear, isolation, and suspicion. Okay, people might be afraid of you. You might get isolated because people might think that, okay, you are showing off these kind of things. Okay, they may not like it. Okay? So what I'm trying to tell you that these are the important things in order to be effective as an individual, and that is where positive attitude need to be related with personal effectiveness. Okay, negotiate objectives to see a realistic and attainable goal. Okay, what I mean to say is that make sure that whatever goals and objectives are set, it is realistic and that can be achieved. By don't set too high goals for yourself. Okay, and those who see, most of us are in academics, and when we are setting goals in terms of teaching, learning, and other kind of activities, we have to be very, very reasonable, realistic. That, okay, we are going to teach these many classes, I'm going to take these many courses, I'm going to take these many projects, consultancy work, publications, and on that account, as a faculty, we should be very, very reasonable to ensure that we are able to achieve them with the kind of resources that we have at our disposal and the constraints that is available to us. Okay, and then the last point is very, very important: make things simple rather than complicating. Okay, it means that you need to simplify instead of complicating the issues. Okay, so if you simplify things, that probably you will be in a better position to understand it. Okay. So if you are not for example, if something is not clear to you, do you say that I have not been able to understand it? What does it mean? The idea is that a complex system need to be simplified so that it could be understood. Okay, and of course, the point that we're discussing is related to disagreement. So you need to ensure that, yes, you encourage dissenting point of view, so that it is actually helping you to arrive at a better decision. So it is always good to look at these things. If you can provide a clear answers to these questions, so those who are in a position, they are going to move your career forward, and you have enough evidence to see that how your attitude is going to contribute to your performance in the organization. Okay. So you have to ensure that your attitude is going to clearly present in your day-to-day behavior and actions. So, and if your attitude is reflected in your day-to-day behavior and actions, then you can say that you are going to be more effective in your performance and succeed. Now, moving to the next part, that is where I was going to discuss is that how do we overcome our negative attitudes? Okay. So these are some of the things related to overcoming our negative attitudes. See, there are certain times when you must realize that you have a problem. Okay, or there is a problem. So if there is a problem, or you are having a problem, then what needs to be done? So these are some of the actually say suggestions that have been made by the author, and he suggests that, yes, if we really want to overcome our negative attitudes, we want to get rid of our problems, we want to focus on good things, then we must look at these things seriously, like put your negative attitude in focus. Okay, So if you have certain negative attitudes, so focus on it and see that if I go with this kind of attitude, what is going to happen? Okay. Where would it lead to me? For example, you think that, okay, you are not going to teach this course. No, it is not a good course. I will never teach this. What is going to happen? Do you think that it is going to deprive you to learn something new because you have never taught that particular course? Right? You think this course is good for nothing, so I'm not going to take it. Okay. Second, laugh. There is no question that laughter is a good medicine. Yes. Smile. I think most of us don't even smile at others. When you suppose you walk in the corridors, when you meet your students, do you really smile at others? Do you greet with a smile or not? Do you laugh in the class? Do you allow students to laugh or not? Okay, because that is going to overcome a lot of inhibitions in you as well as other people. Okay, if there are certain setbacks and failures, do accept them. Okay, so accept setbacks and failure as part of life, but keep in mind that a positive attitude is going to reduce it. But if you carry on the legacy of setbacks and failures, and then what will happen? You are going to lose your confidence, your self-esteem, and probably will not be able to lead or achieve anything in your life. So accept setbacks and failures as a part of life, but keep in mind that the positive attitude is going to reduce it, right? Then talk calmly to yourself when you are upset. Create some kind of monologue, talk to yourself. Okay, I don't know, sometimes we engage in these kind of things. When you introspect, this is related to what you know as introspection in psychology, where we interact with ourselves. Okay, oh, I did this, this was the reason that I could not succeed. Okay, what need to be done, what can I do? Okay, so this kind of monologue with oneself is really good. This is going to reduce your stress level and unwind yourself. If you are having too much pressure, go for a change. For example, go for a lunch outside your house, because you need to recharge yourself. Right? Talk positively to yourself when you feel let down. Maybe I've not been able to do it, but nothing doing, I will take it up next time. So you need to talk positively to yourself when you feel down. Look at your priorities and goals. Are they yours or the expectations of others? That is a very, very important point. For whom you are working for yourself or for others. Okay. For example, for most of us set goals and priorities for our children. Okay. No, you want to be this, you want to become that, professional career. So probably you have set goals and expectations without realizing their capabilities, their competence. Okay. Similarly, when you are going to set your goals and priorities, look at yourself, whether you are interested, whether it is related to you, whether you like it, are you interested in it? If that is so, then go for it. Don't do something because others want you to do it. Okay. And next point, I have already talked about, simplify everything that you can. It is very, very important. Don't let small problems get bigger. Okay, so avoid them. That is very, very important, because sometimes these small problems become serious, and then you are not able to take it up. Right. Next point, don't let get more involved with family and friends. That actually leads to what you call having a very balanced life, family life and work life. Okay. Many of us sometimes due to our profession are not able to give enough time to our family and friends, but try to ensure that you are going to create a very balanced work and family life, so that there's no conflict. Okay, and there's no overlap between your family life and your professional life. Okay, brainstorm positive alternatives with others. That is last point, but it is very, very important, because you also need to find out the alternatives, good alternatives. Okay, and if you adopt a positive or constructive approach, probably you will be in a position to identify what would be good for you in a given situation. Okay, but so for example, something is not happening, or it is not happening as per your expectations. So do you give up? No. You try to find out what could be the other alternatives that you have. And then if you have a positive or constructive approach, probably it is going to help you to find out a better alternative. Right. So these are the points that I wanted to discuss. And moving to the next part, this is again, I think some of the issues that I've already talked about, like believing in yourself. What does it mean? Self-confidence. Okay. That is very, very important. So whatever competencies, capabilities, strength that you have, you believe in yourself. So if, for example, we say that, yes, I can do it. The moment you say that, no, I cannot do it, it means that at the first place, probably you don't have confidence to take it up. Okay. So believing in yourself means having self-confidence, so that you have self-confidence to take up assignments, activities, even if you are not having enough, say, competence in doing that, because it is going to help you to provide an opportunity to learn new things. And if you learn new things, probably it is going to increase your self-confidence. So believing in yourself is very, very important, because if you do not believe in yourself, it would be bad. So you need to build up your self-confidence. So if you develop a positive attitude and strive to give your best effort, it would lead to develop good confidence in you. Okay. So it is very, very important to see that how you are going to develop your self-confidence. So there are two important issues here, which is going to tackle to increase your self-confidence or believing in yourself. That is knowing your limitations, and you know that you are in a position to make choices. So knowing your limitations, what does it mean? It means that you should accept your limitations. So you do some kind of self-assessment to identify what is your strength, what is your weaknesses. That would help you to decide what things you can take up with confidence and what you cannot take. And if you cannot take it up, don't take it up. Okay. Related to this is another issue, I think I've not written over here, but that is equally important, is ability to say no. I think many of us do not have this ability to say no, and we keep on taking more and more responsibility, and then we are not able to deliver it. Okay. Given the time frame that you have, if you are not able to manage those activities, then please don't take up responsibility. Say no to those activities which you cannot take up, or which is not possible for you to take it up. Right. Second issue is related to making choices. Making choices is taking a decision. Okay. Because if you make a choice, then you are going to be responsible for it. Okay. But if you are indecisive, then it is going to be disadvantage, because you don't know what are the things that you are going to take up. Okay. So it is very, very important for you to decide what you are going to do and what are your limitations. So if you are able to take decisions, okay, then it is good. It means that you have been able to make a choice by knowing your strength and weaknesses. Okay, so you know that what are your limitations, based on which you are able to take it up. Okay. How you appear to others, another important point. It is related to your personality. So you need to create a positive self-image. Okay. How you interact, how you talk to people, what kind of image you have posed, okay, to others is very, very important. Okay. Then the next point that we have already talked about, becoming a better listener. So you need to improve your ability to listen, and it requires certain qualities like understanding what the other person is saying, right? Understanding them, and then see that how we're going to rephrase and tell them, okay, this is what you mean, so that you can say, yes, this is what you want to say and understand. So it is very, very important for you to be a good listener. And third point is asking the right questions. Yeah, I don't know how many of you do that. Okay, so whether as a teacher, do you ask the right kind of questions to your colleagues, to your students and others, or not? What does it mean when you say asking the right kind of question, asking the right questions? It means that you know what is relevant, what should be asked, okay, and whether people will be able to answer those questions or not. But if you are asked just for the sake of asking certain questions, you are asking, then probably others would come to know that you were just asking it. It is not relevant, it is not useful, or there is no utility for these questions to be asked. Okay, so but if you have a better understanding, probably you will be going to ask the right kind of questions. Okay? And then make a constructive criticism. It's very, very important. Constructive criticism means that you are going to, when you're going to provide feedback to somebody, okay, make sure that it is going to help that individual to improve his performance. And that is the basic objective of constructive criticism. Then the next is working as a team. Yes, it should be a good team player. It means that you should be able to coordinate, collaborate with your colleagues to perform effectively. And finally, good relationship. Yes, it is always required. In order to be effective, you must develop good interpersonal relationship with everybody, all your stakeholders, teachers, parents, students, say principals, yeah, vice chancellors, of deans, heads, whosoever is there. So if you have good interpersonal relationship, probably this is going to help you to be more effective as an individual. Now the question is that these are certain questions which is going to test whether you are a good in interpersonal relationship and or not. Look at one of these. You can answer in yes or no. Are you scornfully critical when talking of others in the organization? Yes or no? Sometimes you are critical, sometimes not, right? Do you speak of straightening them out? Okay, I will take care of you, I will see you. Whether you speak this kind of language. Do you need to be in full control? Do you want full control? Does almost everything need to be cleared with you? You want more control on other people? That is also not good. In meeting, do you comments like a disproportionate amount of time? Are you quick to attack without understanding or realizing the things? Are you reluctant to let others have the same privilege of prerequisites as you? If yes, it means it is not good for you. You are not going to be good so far as interpersonal relationship is concerned. When talking, do you often use the word I instead of we? If you are using I, it means it is not good. It should be we. Do others admire you because you are strong and capable, or because of your position and status? So if they admire you because of your capability, then it is good. If they admire you because of your position and status, then it is not good. It is not desirable. Okay. So do you speak of you as cold and distant, but you really want them to like you? You don't want to interact, but you want others to like you? No, it is not good. It is not going to help you to develop good interpersonal relationship. Do you regard yourself as more competent than your peers, your boss? Does your behavior so? If it is there, then it is not going to lead to good interpersonal relationship. Okay. Do you enjoy inquiring symbols of status and power? If that is so, then that is also not good, right? Now, if you look at these questions, the idea is that you will be able to assess what is required. So even if you are critical, You need to ensure that it is constructive. Okay, don't speak to somebody to take revenge in this very strict manner. Be tactful. Okay, do not exercise full control. Give enough autonomy to other people. Okay, don't in meetings you don't attack or speak too much. Okay, share privileges and prerequisites. Everybody, don't take it yourself only. Use this term we instead of I. Okay, make sure that people like you because of your capability, not because of your power and status. Behave properly and effectively. Don't work as a cold and distant person, right? Mingle with other people, enjoy with them. Okay, use humor, all kind of things. Okay, respect everybody. Make sure and think that everybody is competent. It is not only you who is competent in this organization, in this institution. Okay, and do not enjoy acquiring symbols of status and power, because the moment the status and power is gone, nobody is going to talk to you, nobody is going to interact with you. Okay, so you need to bring change for positive attitude. Think objectively about whatever we have discussed. Where are you now? How did you get there? How will you be in the future if you don't do things differently? Okay, so you need to think about yourself, that where you are, what you are doing right now, what are the things that you have planned about the future. Are you going to do certain things differently or not? Scan for wider horizons. Don't be too narrow in the scope. Okay, see that what changes is going to help you to eliminate the threat or dangers that you are going to face in terms of learning, in terms of growth, in terms of career. See what are the issues that you are going to face and how you are going to overcome them. Increase your visibility. And how are you going to increase your visibility? Being good with others. Okay, being competent. But the points that I have talked about just now. Okay, having good interpersonal relationship, developing good competence. So that is going to increase your visibility. Okay, and that is where you are going to stand out from others, and make sure that you have much higher goals compared to others. Keep your options open. Use your talents to create more options. And that is actually more important when you are going to bring about change, what I would say successful change. And that is where positive attitude is going to help you. Okay, so you need to develop positive thinking. So it is a okay, mental and emotional attitude which is focusing on the bright side of life and expect positive results. Okay, so you need to develop a positive mindset that brings joy and happiness, health and success. These are the outcomes. If you develop a positive attitude, these are the, you can say, outcomes that you are going to receive. Okay, and if you develop a negative thinking, then it brings up negativity, unhappiness, unhappy moods and actions. Okay. When the mind is negative, poisons are released into the blood. You know that if you are under stress, you have a lot of anxiety and these kind of things, your body responds negatively to this. Okay, and there could be a lot of psychosomatic issues, problems with you. Okay, it not only brings unhappiness and negativity, but you might be affected with blood pressure, sugar, and all kind of physiological problems. And it also leads to failures, frustrations, and disappointment. So now you know what are the positive thinking and outcomes of the positive thinking and outcomes of the negative thinking. So accordingly, you need to see that you are able to develop more positive thinkings. If you go for positive thinking, it leads to positive actions, and subsequently you develop positive habits, which results in positive things in your life. Okay. So how you go about positive thinking? Look at it. And this leads to the chances of success. Sorry, these are the how. You start with I cannot do it. I won't. I wish I could. I don't know how to do. Then move to the next. I think I might do. I want to do it. I think I can. I might. I will. I can. I did. So that is where the probability of success improves the moment you move from a negative attitude to a more positive attitude. For example, when you say I can do it, right, it means it shows a positive attitude. It's like a looking at a glass of water which is half full. So you might say that it is half full or half empty, right? So that shows your positive attitude or negative attitude. But there is another alternative that is where you think beyond it, right? A glass which is half full, you can say that the glass is half full with water and half full with air. So that is a different kind of thinking, right? So that is where you move beyond positive thinking and try to do much better. And if you have moved from negative thinking to positive thinking, that is move from negative to positive, is going to maximize your performance. Okay, provided you take responsibility for your activities, think before you decide. Yes, that is very, very important. So do your homework, see your strength, and see that what you can do. Do expect problems. See, we all have problems in our life. So even if we have planned very well, there could be certain obstacles, barriers on the way. Okay, so do expect problems, but see that how you can resolve them. Okay, and know your friends, people, and other things. And finally, I think 2 more slides are there. What you need to learn in order to succeed is that I have taken from somebody. Think everything in a positive manner. Say goodbye to fear, negativity. Believe in yourself. I've already talked about. Say yes to challenges. That is going to lead to success. Okay. So this is what you need to change. You need to change your attitude. You need to change your thinking and also your behavior. Okay. So it goes this way. Thinking leads to attitude, and that leads to behavior. So you need to change all three: your thinking, your behavior, and your attitude. Now the choice is yours. Bad attitude, you can never have a positive day. With a positive attitude, you can never have a bad day, right? So I think that's all from my side. Thank you. And I would conclude with this, that yes, attitude everything. So I hope that I've been able to deliver what I wanted, and hope that it is going to help you to understand these things in a much better way. Thank you very much. If you have any questions or anything, then you can ask.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your very elaborate presentation. Very nice to see that you have touched every department of psychology, every department of communication, interpersonal, and you have covered all sort of attitudes that everybody needs to know.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable time and your good speech. Participants, will you please, if you have got any inquiries, if you have got anything to speak with the guest, will you please able to make them? You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, you can unmute, and then we can have some interaction on any issue. I will try my best.
All are overwhelmed with your speech.
Thank you.
Really, sir.
Hope that it is going to help them to learn certain things, okay, and be more positive in their approach and life. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, any comments from your side? Anybody, please unmute yourself. Sehesh, are you there? I have disabled mute. Please unmute everybody. I have unmuted.
Yes, ma'am. Everybody has a question.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. It was a very informative and helpful presentation. As said, you have touched every, aspects which are really required for our social and professional life. And definitely we will keep this in mind to implement in our social and professional life ahead. Thank you so very much.
Sir, thank you for such positive presentation and session. Sir, my question is due to the COVID, nowadays a lot of the students are in their home,
Yes,
and
yes.
that is they are not able to go out, and that is leading to some negative thoughts with them.
Yes, yes. Yes, this
So
is
how they
happening.
can overcome, because maximum time they are on the mobile screen, and they are just playing, or they are just reading. So this is what is the most negative thing for them.
Yes, yes, definitely. I think because of this pandemic, things have changed. And then, can you mute up? Can you mute us? Yeah, definitely. This pandemic has created a havoc in our lives, and things have changed. So you need to adjust to the new normal. When it comes to children, I think you need to diversify and see that they are not only engaged in online studies and these kind of things, but you also ensure that they are going to do whatever possible other activities, right? Even if it is not possible to go out at home, also you can plan certain activities so that they are able to diversify themselves. Yeah, a lot of people are facing mental health issues because of working at home, and you know that sometimes this even work-life balance has also gone today. I mean, I have seen even my son who is working from say 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the evening, even at the home. So even he's not he's working with a company, so he's not finding enough time to even interact and relate with the people. Okay, and whenever he's off, I mean Saturday, Sunday, he only sleeps. So I told him that whatever time you find, you go out, speak to other people, sit with us, talk to us. Okay, so you try to need to create some kind of balance, and you also need to diversify their activities in other areas, maybe playing, maybe sports, other things, so that I mean the mind is diversified to think of other things, not only on the mobiles or say laptops, because it is not going to help them. Okay, and I think make sure that the use of mobiles and laptops is limited. If it is not limited, you allow them to sit and work on them all the time, definitely it is not good. It is going to affect their physical health, it is going to affect their mental health. So there are a lot of issues that we need to deal with, especially in the context of children. Even for the faculty member, that is equally true. And then we have to see that what are the different kind of activities that we need to plan and take up to diversify, I mean to so keep off ourselves from these activities, because these things were not there earlier. So we had a set life, set routine, which is really disturbed. So we need to see that how we are going to adjust ourselves in this what you call the new normal. So you need to take up certain activities and plan depending upon the requirement of the child and that kind of things. And then I think you will be the best teacher or the best person to find out what are the other activities that can be planned for the children at home itself, right? You can plan for certain games that can be played at home, right? So at least they are able to do something that is more physical, not only doing sitting in front of the mobile or the computers for online classes. That has really taken a toll on our children. Okay, and I have, yeah.
So like class 12 children also, like the results have come out where there was a, with internal assessment, marks has been given. So there is 98, 99 flow of marks.
Yes, yes, yes.
So what is happening that now those who were the good students and they had given genuinely the internal assessment, they were put in a lower position.
Yes, yes, yes. It has happened. Yes, yes, definitely. There's a lot of
depressions in our children.
A lot of resentment is there among the children, I know. And some good children actually, they thought that they would be doing well in the final exam, which is going to take place. And probably some of them did not put much focus on internal assessment. That could be one of the reasons, thinking that the final exam is more important for them. But I think the ministry is doing something on that account, and they are, I think they're allowed to reappear and repeat certain exams in which they feel that they have got less marks, but that is on the institute front. Sorry, the ministry's front. We also need to tell them that marks are not everything in life,
Yeah. Very
right?
true.
Isn't
So
it?
it is a gateway. They are not getting the seats.
Yeah, I mean, see, if he is a good student, he will definitely do good in life. It does not depend upon the marks that he is obtained. Only where the admissions is based on merit, probably there they will not be able to succeed. But
Yeah.
but any kind of competition, I think they are going to do much better, right? So it is you need to inculcate this feeling among the children that if you don't get 90%, 99%, you are useless. So you need to get rid of this kind of feeling today,
Mm.
because everybody is getting 99%, right? So
Yeah.
how does this marks matter for us? So we need to actually, we as parents have to inculcate this kind of feeling among the children that marks are okay, but it is not everything in your life. Okay. And the whole world is open for you. You can do wonders in your life. And I have seen children with not very good marks have excelled in their life. Okay. It's not that marks is going to determine everything in life. So this kind of feeling which we have inculcated in the children, that if you don't get good marks, nothing is going to happen to you. This mindset need to be removed from the parents actually, not the children.
Mm. Very
That-
true.
Yes.
That is a difficult task, sir, to
Yeah,
remove
but
from
we
the
have to
parents'
accept,
mind.
we have to accept it somewhere. No?
Mm.
Otherwise, it is going to create more frustration.
They are constantly calling us, Madam, this is the case. My son is undergoing depression. So, like, their parents are
That is-
not changing the mindset. This is a
Yeah, as a child, as a teacher, you have to basically counsel them
Mm.
on these accounts.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the options? Okay, in a competitive environment that you have, and whether marks is everything in life or not, right? Isn't it? There's a life beyond IITs that we used to say. Okay, though I am in IT, but I have never studied. I mean, I did my PhD in IIT, but none of my children have studied in IIT, and they are doing well in life, reasonably well. So it does not mean that you are not in IIT, in IIMs, good colleges, life ends over there, isn't it?
Very true.
So, but this mentality that as parents we have, that need to be changed, definitely.
Yes.
So everybody is getting 99%. So where is the competition? You tell me, where is the comparison? And see, when you compare with your child with others, that is the worst thing.
Mm.
Please do not compare your child with anybody. Your child is your child. He has certain strengths, certain qualities. You need to harness them. You need to untap them, and based on that, you need to see that what he can do best in his life.
Yes.
But I think it will take time for us as parents to think about these lines.
Yeah, to change our mindset too.
Yes, definitely. That is very, very important.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful presentation, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Any more inquiries that we have to speak with? Anybody? Okay, sir.
Okay.
So let me have a screenshot with you. Just a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, I ask you.
Yes, sir, please. Yeah. Sir, please continue.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. There is two things for there when you're saying attitude and character. So how can we differentiate the attitude and character?
Character, I didn't talk about character. Actually, attitude is one thing which is going to build up your character. Okay.
So actually, attitude, what we are now, how we behave with the surrounding.
So
This is
attitude,
called attitude. Yes.
yeah, attitude is going to define your behavior.
Yes.
So there's a
But-
relationship between attitude and behavior. And you
But
need to
we are-
ensure that your attitude is consistent with your behavior.
But in character, it is not like that. Now, in character, it is a permanent one which is come from our ancestors. Now. If you are kind, or if you are generous, or if you are a short temper, that's your character.
That is related to personality.
But it is not comes from the attitude. Now.
No, yeah, different, not directly, but indirectly, it is going to affect your attitude, because your personality is going to define how you are going to behave. For example, if you are, say, optimistic, then you will develop a more positive attitude. But if you are a pessimistic, you will develop a more negative attitude, right?
Okay, sir. But
Personality
okay,
is going to decide what kind of attitude you are going to follow.
if a person is short temper, actually his nature is short temper, but he is a good person. Okay. So how we approach, whether we are approaching as a positive attitude or negative attitude?
No. So his short temper is definitely, it is not a good thing. But then probably he has to learn that he has to change his behavior, and that is where he need to modify it. Okay, so that his attitude and behavior is consistent with each other. Because if he's short tempered, maybe people will avoid him tomorrow, right? He may not be liked by others.
Okay.
But isn't it? But when you are talking about behavior, you have to ensure that whether this person is able to change his nature or not.
Okay,
I
but
will, tell me.
Most of the people, they are showing that wrong attitude, which is fake attitude only now.
Yes,
in front of their society, they are acting. Actually, they are acting in front of others.
Yeah, but
now you can say this.
Say, even if they are acting, you will be able to find out that they are acting. At one point of time, probably they get exposed, isn't it? Don't you think that you will be able to find out that this person is behaving like that? He is manipulating the things. He is behaving in a fake way, isn't it? Yes. Maybe for the first time you will not be able to assess, but next time you are going to assess that he is behaving or manipulating the things. He is a fake person. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
With your permission, let me say, as such, you have told about short temper. Just because actually it is not such a negative quality, but again, it affects a lot in family life. Definitely. Even it affects in your work, right? Yes, it affects yourself. It affects your health, physical as well as mental health. Anybody, whoever, a woman or a man, whoever may be.
Anybody.
So in that case, in that case, we have to realize that at least you have anybody can realize that we are short tempered. If at all, if you could realize, you have to make the point of measures to control it. Unless we control, we can't. That is what I told. Even for emotion also, you have to control. For all your good and bad emotions, whatever the attitudes you show, whatever you get from others also, you have. That is what you have to see. If you can tolerate at least for certain limit. If not, you have to reveal that you cannot tolerate. You cannot tolerate anything, everything for your lifetime. Right? That is more important. Whoever the people may be, even the student or a children or the scholars, even faculties, even family bondages, wherever we work on, we have to see that it need not be extended in a long run. It should be controlled. That's more important. It affects the whole life. Yes.
See, any kind of negativity, we have to realize that that is something negative, and we need to take care of it. Right? Whatever it is, whether it is aspect of personality, whether it's an aspect of behavior, aspect of character. Okay. As an individual, we must assess ourselves, what is wrong with us, and see that what steps we need to take to correct ourselves, so that we need to move from negativity to more positive. Then probably we'll have a better self-image, isn't it?
As one self-evaluates, we have to control ourselves.
Yes, that is.
We have to assure ourselves that I can control myself.
Yes,
that definitely. Is more important. Yes, sir. With your permission, let me end the session. Anybody just do you need to interact with the professor? Anybody again? Because professor is available right now, just because make use of his resources, because he is really good enough to give you good tips for your good life.
Sir, can we change a negative mindset of another person as an individual, say, of my friend is always negative? I find
okay. Why You change yourself, not others. Why do you want to change him? Yeah, you can give feedback, and now it's up to him whether he wants to change or she wants to change. But you tell him what is wrong with you. Now it's up to him. Okay. You take responsibility for yourself, not the other person. But definitely you can give some constructive feedback to the other person that, okay, this is the thing with you, and that is where you need to change. And then you leave it to him.
But their negativity affects us. That was the point.
Yeah, it is going to affect you, and then you need to adjust with it. Yeah, definitely. But if you tell them, probably he is going to change it. If it is not going to change it, it is going to affect him more than you. Isn't it?
Some may change, some may not change.
Yes, yes.
In that case, if you verbally speak, some may understand you, and so that they will make an attempt at least to change. But there are people who may not listen. In that case, we have to influence them with our own good activities.
Yeah, definitely. For example, if somebody does not talk to you properly, you tell them, this is not the way to talk to you. Please don't talk to me like this. If he's a good person, probably he would understand that I need to talk to him in a more appropriate manner. If it doesn't, then you stop talking to him. So he would realize it. So it all depends upon you, how you handle the things, right? Yes.
Sir, attitude change according to the time and situation. Do you
Yes,
accept that, sir?
Yes, yes. I think one of the points that I made.
It has to be. It will be.
Yes, yes. You need to change your attitude as per the demand of the situation and the time, right?
Okay.
As one get matures and realizes also, they will change themselves.
Yes,
but
yes.
we have to give some time. That is also there.
I think that was a point I made in one of my slides.
Okay.
I think we've recorded the session.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So it would the slides and all the interactions is available with you. You can make those up. Okay.
Okay. Thank you
So
so much
thank
for
you
your
for a very-
extended time also, sir. You have given another
no, it's all
15
right.
to 20 minutes for us.
Yes.
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
I think it was very interactive and I liked it very much. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
It
sir.
was nice interacting with all of you. Thank you very much.
Yes,
So I'm
sir.
Thank you,
Fine.
sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So dear participants, I just need to give a final call about your test. So tomorrow morning, you will be having 2 sessions, regular sessions as such, 10:30 to 12 o'clock, 12 to 1:30, you will be having a regular 2 sessions as such. By afternoon, 2:30 to 4 o'clock, by this session as such, you will be having your test and feedback. This session is exclusively for your test and feedback, 2:30 to 4. Okay, so as such, I will be giving you the Google Forms. I will be giving the link for the Google Forms for a test as well as feedback. You can connect with that and you have to complete it. Okay, after that, you have to remind for a feedback session. So your feedback, oral as well as written, is too much important. It will be recorded as such. It needs to be. Yeah.
Okay, what about the materials, ma'am?
Materials I will be sending, sir. I'm expecting sir's material. Actually, when they complete one piece, they will be sending it. So as such, I get that one. Probably the way he sends, the time he sends, I will be sending it to you. Already everything is accumulated. So almost I will be sending.
Ma'am, will you send that in that email, ma'am?
Yeah, email. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Madam, is it going to be long questions or short answer? I mean,
It
objective.
is all quiz, MCQs.
MCQ. Okay, thank you.
Yes, objective only.
1 hour, ma'am, exam?
No, sir,
Or 1.5
45 minutes. 45 minutes.
minutes.
25
Okay.
questions only. Half an hour is feasible, but again, 45 minutes.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Can we leave?
Ma'am, we have a screenshot with you. Everybody, please switch on your camera.
Ma'am,
Yes,
the Google form will be given in WhatsApp.
Ma'am, the link will be given. You can open in the WhatsApp also. I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, it may be. It can be done through WhatsApp also.
Yes, ma'am. It can be.
Okay, you can take the screenshot now.
Yeah, I'm just doing it. Yes, thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yes. With this, let me end the session. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.